We are live at 5. It's starting right now. I usually wait a few minutes for people to log in. How is everyone? How is everyone this evening? Are we good? It's Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through the week. After tonight, we will be more than halfway through, which is great. Friday is around the corner. So I usually wait a couple minutes for people to jump on. We had a lot of people that registered for tonight's training. I think 26. So as you're coming on, I know we have new people that are joining the group every day. Last week we hit 800 members. So cool. I see 6 viewers right down there on the corner. Just kind of, if you're new, if you're not new, kind of introduce yourself, say where you're from, and say the name of your cleaning company, actually. Say what the name of your cleaning company is. Sometimes when I talk to people, I don't get all the names. So, hi Candace, hello, hello, what's going on? How was your week? How was your week? I hope we solved that problem yesterday on the DM with your client. I hope so. I hope we did. So wait a couple more minutes. If anyone else, hey Belinda and fam, hi. Jamie, hi. Did you email me today? I think you did, Jamie. How are you? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm Cheryl. Yep. Cleaning Pros, Anita Pike Cleaning Services. Where are you from, Anita? What state are you from? Jamie, where are you from? Let me know. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. So I'm on the New England side. Hey, Caitlin. How are those goats? I love those goats. All right, cool. Virginia. Oh, that's not too far from me. That's probably like if I was to drive, that's probably like 12 hours. That's not too bad. That's not too far. Georgia. Yep, Georgia. Are you near Florida or are you near South Carolina? Hey, Jeannie. What's going on? I love New Mexico. So when I was 28 years old, I went to White Sands in New Mexico. That was probably the best place I've ever been in my whole entire life. That was like the coolest place ever. I don't know if you've been, Jeannie. You probably have. Hi, Melissa. Melissa and I had a call on Monday. We're solving a bunch of labor issues and pricing and staffing and stuff like that. So your goats are pregnant? Oh my God. Caitlin has goats, everyone. She has like 18 goats. Can you take pictures and bring them to class tomorrow? Caitlin's in the group program. Show us the pictures of the goats. Columbus. Is that, Columbus, Georgia? No. Columbus, Alabama. Okay. All right. Oh, I see. You have to, if anyone ever goes to New Mexico, go visit White Sands. It's the coolest place like in the world. Yeah, take pictures of the goats. I love that. So we will start. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cheryl Hazer. I founded Sisters Who Scale, this group, and I also have a maid service company that services residential, commercial, and power washing. So I'm always glad to be here on Wednesday. It's my favorite because I get to like talk to all you guys and interact, with people that are in the group and stuff. So I'm a business coach for cleaning business owners. I specialize in helping people learn how to hire the right people, scale, price, systemize, implement all your systems, all that stuff. So I grew my own business. I started as a solo cleaner from zero money to over $700K a year and growing in about a little under 4 years. I do that working about 20 hours a week. And my company's grown consistently about 30 to 35% each year. And the best thing is we did it during a pandemic. So has anyone worked during a pandemic? Were you all in business? Because that was crazy. People ask me all the time, how did I do it? Or how did I do it? What's the secret? So there's no real secret per se. I always tell people it's a process of result producing activities that are performed rolled out over a systematic plan on a consistent basis over and over and over again. The same result producing activity that worked, continue to do it. So it's not busy work, right? It's result producing activities that produce revenue. That's a result producing activity, something that produces revenue. There's a big difference. So let's talk about the difference between the two. So busy work for a cleaning business is paperwork, scheduling, checking emails, checking Facebook, doing laundry, buying supplies, filling caddies, cleaning out vacuums. All of that stuff is busy work. Who here still does these things for their cleaning business? Just say, just say busy work. Put it in the chat. Just say busy work. I bet there's a ton of you. I bet there's a ton of you. So these things, even though they're necessary for the cleaning business, they don't bring in money. Are they necessary? Of course they're all necessary. All those things need to get done, but they really don't bring in money, okay? So what are result producing activities for a cleaning business? Sales and marketing, that's it. Those are your two things that bring in money. So you need to do sales and marketing activities as an owner, okay? Over and over and over again. Everything else is delegated to everyone else. So let's talk about intentional effort. So it's one thing to wake up every day and say, okay, I want to get to $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month, for example, in your cleaning business. But that's, not how you get there. Okay, what do you actually have to do? So that's kind of wishful thinking, right? So the first thing you're going to do is you have to set goals. Okay, you can't wing the goal setting. You have to know what your goals are and where you want to go. So how many of you have monthly or quarterly goals? I have monthly goals. Sometimes I have weekly goals, right? I have monthly goals, then I have lists, I have weekly lists, and then my goal is actually getting through everything on the list. So goals are so important, because once you have goals, you can exactly map out how you will get there, okay? So now, how do you use conversations to close all those deals? So you have to know how to talk to people, but more importantly, you have to know how to listen to people when they're telling you their stories, when you're sitting at the kitchen table and they're complaining about their last cleaner, because you and I know that if you do in-person interviews, you're listening to they couldn't communicate, they weren't reliable, and there's a boatload of other things. They've broken things. We know we're all hearing the same thing, right? So you have to be empathetic to them so they know and understand you're truly listening to them. Look them in the eye, stuff like that. So let's start off with this. If you want to take notes, definitely, by all means, take notes. So what's the importance of having great communication in sales? So all people that have been successful in sales have mastered the ability to gather information from prospects and provide solutions to people's pain. So your value proposition, your pricing, even your product's features, none of that really matters unless you're able to get your prospects to tell you what's going on. So that means you have to know what questions to ask them, right, when you're sitting there. So you need to know how to listen to them. You need to know what questions to ask. Most salespeople make the mistake of not listening and just shooting off the latest and greatest. Oh, we have 10% off. Oh, we have this. Oh, we have that. You're showing them all the bells and whistles of your company, and those things don't make someone want to buy per se. Okay, so you need to get to know your prospect in that short amount of time, so they trust you, because this is all about trust, because they're letting you, or your staff in their home, so that's a massive trusting, right? So if you have, my estimates take me anywhere from, depending on who the person is, 20 to 30 minutes. Some people aren't really talkative. Some people go a little over 30 minutes. I was at one this morning that went almost 40 minutes because she was real talkative. We thought we knew each other from somewhere. So they want to get to know you, and they need to like you. Even if you're not the one cleaning, if you're the one at the house, they need to like you in that short amount of time, okay? So you have to know how your prospects learn. You have to know what they care about. You have to know how they communicate, and you have to adapt your strategy according to them when you're in that moment. So mastering the art of communication is what you need to focus on. Now, if you want to write these down, I have them numbered. Number 1 is you need to be present. How many of us are sitting at the kitchen table and we're thinking about picking up our kids, checking on a team, when am I doing payroll, all that stuff, right? All that stuff has to go aside, and you have to pay attention and be in the moment and listen to what your prospect is saying. So Practice this. Practice active listening with your husband, with a friend, your daughter, son, whatever. So shut up and listen to when they're talking to you. That's the only thing I can say. We're all distracted. We have cell phones going off. We have buzzers. We have emails. You know, we have to cook dinner and this and that. Like women, like we have to like wear multiple hats. We know that. We're distracted than ever before. Social media, right? It's easy. Like how many of us are picking up our phones all the time, right? And we're hearing those bells go off and stuff like that. So we have to put everything down. So when I am at someone's house, I turn my phone down. I turn my phone down. Sometimes I won't even bring my Apple Watch in the appointment. I'll leave it in the car because you know this is ringing and this and that, right? It's so crazy. So it's understandable that during a client meeting, right, you can wander somewhere else, right? But guess what? They can tell that. And if I were that person, that would make me mad and probably not want to do business with you. So just because it's understandable doesn't make it acceptable, okay? You have to dedicate 100% of attention to each call. Otherwise, you're going to miss details and you're going to make your prospect repeat things they've already told you. And that's going to be, you know, annoying to them. So that's number one, be present. Number two, learn to read body language. So the same sentence said by someone who's smiling and looking directly into your eyes and sitting up straight is received much differently than when a speaker is looking away or slouching over, okay, even if you're saying the same exact thing. Why? Because body language doesn't lie. Great communicators know how to read other people's body language. So I can anticipate when I go to give the price, I say the price immediately. I can anticipate, I know exactly what they're thinking because I've been doing this for a long time. So that's how I know what to say. When someone, I can tell when someone thinks my price is too high. If they had another person, I come right out and I say, you know, I know you weren't paying, you know, I know your other cleaner was a solo cleaner and they didn't have insurance. I know how to answer them like right away. So that's how sometimes I can overcome an objection before something even comes out of their mouths, right? So that's what you need to focus on. Number three is mimic their energy. So if you master the nuance of their voice tones and the energy, does everyone know what this is or what this means? You know, if you mimic your prospect in the tone of their voice. So if you get to the house and someone's very excitable, you want to talk excitable. If they're very subdued and everything, you want to match their energy, okay? You need to mimic their energy, mimic their voice tone. If they're reserved, be reserved. And this is kind of fun to do in the moment because everyone's kind of different when you meet them. So try it on your next sales call or your in-person estimate. It works better in person because they're sitting right in front of you. It's an art form. It takes a little bit of time, like body language, voice tone, voice pitch, volume, speed, even your word choice affects how the words you're actually saying are interpreted, okay? So listen to how your prospect speaks and then mirror them. If someone is excitable and happy, you be happy. If someone is reserved and quiet, you be reserved and quiet. Meet them on their level. Then you're speaking to them exactly where they function on an everyday basis. So believe it or not, they're going to relate a lot better to you if you do this. And it's hard, like I'm a cheery person, so when I go to a house where someone's like subdued and quiet, I have to really concentrate on being quiet because I want to just strike up conversation, have fun, I want to smile, I want to laugh. That's just my natural, like how I am. So people don't always want to see that, right? And if you can't pull it out of them, you have to meet them on their own level. So is this making sense to everyone? I'm going to check in right now. It's making sense? You play up people's energy so much. That's good. That's good, Candace. No, my walkthroughs are 20 to 30 minutes. It depends. I have like, when I get on camera, I have an itch in my nose. It drives me crazy. Has that ever happened to you? I just have to address it. I'm just like, ah. So that happens to me all the time. Totally makes sense. Yes. Yep. Okay. So you guys are noticing this. Okay. All right, cool. So number 4, be empathetic. Understand what's not being said. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that are going on in people's minds when you're in front of them that aren't being said. So reading between the lines is a skill you must acquire. A lot of times this goes hand in hand with reading body language, okay? So when I give someone a price, I can tell what they're thinking because I've done it so much, okay? And sometimes I'll even address it. So I'll be like, you know, I know it's probably more you're paying. Here's why the price is where it is. And I just say, this is where it is. Don't lower your standards and your price just to meet them on their level. If they, you know, if they can't afford it, you know, I get that. But people will pay for good service. People will pay for value. It's your job to know your numbers and to know where you're going to make a profit, because there's no sense in going around and carrying all kinds of, you know, getting all kinds of jobs if you're not going to make a profit. So we know about this. So you don't necessarily have to agree with everything your prospect is saying, but you should always at least try to see things from their point of view. So the best salespeople are able to connect with their prospects because they actually understand the things that their buyers are experiencing, okay? Not only does being empathetic make you more likable, it also increases your chances of closing a deal. So you know that people are busy and the last thing they want to do is clean their house on a Saturday. You know that, especially if they have kids in sports and the whole 9 yards, and it's fall and it's beautiful. Everyone wants to go apple picking or do something, pumpkin picking, whatever. You come in with a solution to give them back that gift of time. And you're not only giving them, you're giving them freedom. So you're cleaning their house at a price that works, but you're giving them freedom. And if you're likable, most likely you're gonna get the job. Okay, does it make sense? Next, number 5, be an expert in what you are selling. Of course, you can't be specific if you don't have any idea what you're talking about, right? So you have to know your numbers. And this takes a little time. Knowing your numbers cold, right? I can spit out right on the piece of paper. The only estimates that I don't give the numbers right away are my commercial ones. I go back and I take a look and I think about, okay, what's the price going to be? How many hours? What are we doing? All that stuff, right? Those are the only ones. All my residential, they're all in person. I give the numbers right on the table right away. So you can't be specific if you don't have any idea what you're talking about. So knowing your numbers, knowing what your competition is charging, so you make sure you're not overcharging, because you don't want to overcharge, right? You don't want to gouge people. You want to be fair. You have to know your details, know all about the cleaning industry, the products, be able to answer questions. People will ask you questions about which products you're using. So you want to know about industry trends, because it's going to come up in conversation here and there. And the more you know, the more knowledgeable you look, and the easier it is for you to close deals. You have to know your stuff, okay? When we were going through COVID, I would get asked crazy things like, do we, use the same sponges or mop heads, like stupid things. Like, no, you don't. We change them all the time. But people want to know that stuff, right? I had some people, and apparently a cleaning crew that they had cross-contaminated and were using the same rags, which is pretty gross. We don't do that. But be prepared for weird questions like that. The next one, knowing how to listen to your prospect, okay? As your client is talking, you have to make mental notes of what they are saying. This is how you overcome the objections, by paying attention to what they're saying. So when I'm doing a walkthrough with someone, I'm listening to everything. I'm asking them questions. As we're walking up the stairs, I'm saying, oh, how did you hear of us? I'm commenting on a house. This house I went to today had the coolest Halloween decorations ever. It was a gorgeous house, so I'm a Halloween freak. So I immediately, went to that. I'm like, oh my God, where did you get that freestanding witch in the front yard? She's cool. So I identified with her because I'm a Halloween freak. She answered the door in like a Halloween shirt. I'm like, wow, this is high end over here, right? But whatever. So I try and just, if something looks cool to me or pretty or whatever, I compliment them. I do it all the time, okay? Because a lot of times, too often salespeople, which is what we are, we're waiting for our turn to talk, right? Or what we're going to say next, instead of truly listening to what the prospect is saying, right? So the prospect only wants to hear one thing from you: what services you offer, how you can solve their pain, and how they can book with you. That's it. They need a house cleaner, you clean houses. They have a budget. Does the price fit their budget? If it does, and you're likable and you show up presentable with a company shirt and your hair neat and you're not chewing gum and being all crazy, they're probably going to hire you. These are the two biggest things. Then you have things like, do you carry insurance? Are you trustworthy? I always talk about my staff when I'm in the houses, because I'm not cleaning the houses anymore, right? What are your company policies? Do you have any testimonials? Things like that. So those are all super important things. Is this all making sense? I'm going to check in with everyone. Anyone have any questions so far? Hey, Casey. All right, cool. All making sense. All making sense. Okay. Nice. So ask great questions. How many of you ask questions when you're in your estimates? How many ask questions? If you're not actually curious about your prospect situation, it'll be all too easy to slip into your elevator pitch. You want to know who this person is. What makes them get out of bed in the morning? Who are they? Do they work from home? Do they work out of the house? Do they have kids? Ask a million questions, because that's going to genuinely show your person you care, okay? And most of us care. Most of us that are in the cleaning business have service, how do I say this? Servant hearts, rather, okay? So we're in the customer service. We like to help people. So asking great questions is the key to your sales. So if you're not curious about your prospect situation, like I said, they're going to be able to pick that up, okay? They're going to be able to pick that up off of you. Okay, here's one you're going to definitely want to write down, and you're going to definitely want to remember. Okay, this is going, if you do this, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, okay? Write this one down. Always meet with the decision maker. Always. This sometimes happens with commercial, but it sometimes happens with residential. When the wife contacts you for an estimate and she says, oh, my husband's going to walk you through. You don't want to do that. Try and meet with the wife at all times. I've had more estimates not get accepted because I've met with the husband, because the husbands just don't get it. All right, you got to get in front of the woman. You guys all know what I'm talking about, right? So sometimes, let's use the husband for example. Sometimes they don't know how to relay the details, all right, to the wife. So the wife hasn't gotten a chance to meet you, right? And these details can change, okay? 9 times out of 10, you're meeting with the decision maker, which is usually the wife, so you don't have to worry. But if they say, oh, my husband's going to be there, try and get a meeting with either with both of them or either with them. I make a little bit of a joke with it, so I will ask them who does the cleaning. If the wife says, my husband does the cleaning, then I meet with the husband, because the husband is dying to get out of cleaning the house, right? So he's going to want to be like, yep, looks good, let's do it. So, but if she's doing the cleaning and she's at work and he's at home, I wait till she's home from work. And I'll go at night. I'll go at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, whatever it is, right? You're going to save yourself so much time, okay? So much time. So that is my big suggestion, to try and meet with the person that's doing the cleaning, okay? I would probably say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably say 9 times out of 10 or 8.5 times out of 10, the wife is usually doing the cleaning, but there is that rare instance. So if they want you to meet with the husband, ask if he's the one that's cleaning. And sometimes, as long as they're cleaning, you do okay. If he's not cleaning, has no idea of what it is, it's not going to work. So another one, honesty. Honesty is the best policy. We all know that. Just because you're assuming good intent doesn't mean your prospects will. So always be upfront about the questions you can answer, maybe the questions that you can't answer, and the questions with answers your prospect might not necessarily like, okay? Like pricing, and why is this price and that, right? Your prospects won't relax and let their guard down unless they trust you. So that means always being upfront, okay? If you don't know something, tell them, you'll get the answer to it, so they believe what you're saying, okay? If you say, oh, I'm not really sure, but I'll get the answer to that, then get the answer to them. Don't make up something, okay? And another thing you have to do sometimes is you have to be comfortable with silence once you give the price. And this is so hard, okay? Most salespeople are too uncomfortable with it and they start talking, right? When they ask a question, the prospect gets quiet. Most people will immediately try and fill that silence by asking a follow-up question or clarifying. That's just your nervous energy that can make or break a sale. When the person is looking at the price, if they've had another cleaner, another solo cleaner or whatever that was lower, you have to give them time to think about the price you gave them. So just sit back, give them a price, wait a few seconds, try and read their body. Try and read their body. If you're getting a hesitation, be bold and just be like, is this a little bit higher than what you were paying? Just ask a question. You're just having a conversation with someone. There's no need to freak out, right? If they're quiet with the price, they're going to tell you, yeah, I was only paying, 150 and your price is 180, so it's a little bit more. Tell them why it's more. Tell them why it's more. Make them think, okay? Not every cleaning service is created alike, okay? I would say try pausing for like 3 to 5 seconds. That way you're not interrupting like an important thought that they may have, they may be having. You're setting the precedent for silence and you're welcoming them to actually think about what you're saying, okay? So the key takeaway here is this: effective communication equals effective sales, okay? Sales communication skills are by far the most important weapon in a salesperson's arsenal. The most important. So you want to make sure to keep your skills relevant to the person you're talking to and practice this stuff because this stuff works, okay? Try some of these things at your walkthrough. Try some of these things. Does anyone have any questions about this? Let me open this up to you guys. Jamie, I always ask questions, especially open-ended questions. Yes, because you want to get them to talk to you. That's 100% right. Melissa, how do you get info on what the competition charges? Call them. Call and get an estimate for your house. That's what you do. Sometimes people will post stuff on the community groups. They might be like, bi-weekly clean, $120. So they'll tell you right away what they're charging. So you can find it like there. How do you share, Candace, how do you share how great your staff is? I say something to the effect of, so they know where the price is coming from. I say, we pay our staff a livable wage and it shows in their work. They love coming to work and don't call out. Say something like that. So so indirectly you're telling them that your company is reliable because you treat your staff well. They love their jobs. Sometimes, I think I said it today, I say I cherry pick everyone that I hire. Not everyone makes it through my, process or whatever. So I'd say something like that. You don't hire, anyone off the street. Pretend to be a customer. Pretend to be a customer. Pretend to be a customer. See if someone will give you pricing over the phone. You could start there. I was pretty ballsy when I first started, and I had the maids, and I had Molly maids come to my house and give me a quote. So that's what I would do. See what I'm saying? Did you see what just happened? If I'm taking this off. I started to get a phone call. Isn't it crazy? And just you have to just put the distractions down. Yes, when asking for price info. Yeah, correct, Melissa. Yep. Let me go through these. Making sense. Yep. Yes, making sense. Any other questions? I have goals monthly, daily. Yep, Jeannie, you have goals. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. 12 viewers. Yep. If you're good, Gabriella. You do ask questions. Hi, how are you? You have to ask questions. So the more questions you ask, the more you're going to feel relaxed too. Jamie, I know. I think you emailed me. I'm gonna DM you. I have a class starting in a couple weeks. So as long as we're talking about that, let's talk about this. I have. If you're having issues with getting sales and you don't know where the disconnect is, chat with me. Right? I'm very approachable, as you guys know. There's a few different ways you can work with me. Okay, I had one private spot that opened up for coaching. I do private. I also do a group program. Private is one-on-one every other week. We usually do it for 6 months. I find that to get a real good transformation, you really got to commit for a certain amount of time. Okay, but I have a group program. It was formerly called Elevate Your Cleaning Biz. It is now called Drop Them Off and Scale, because that's what we do. What I am doing is, I used to have an evergreen where I would enroll people in the program all the time. I am now switching to enrolling to 4 times a year. Okay, so there'll be one in October, one in January, one in April, and then one in the summer. Why am I doing this? Because the first group program that I created, the camaraderie between the 9 women that are in the group is absolutely amazing. They cheer each other on. They share each other's wins. It's just the coolest thing ever. So that's why I decided to go from an evergreen to enrolling only 8 people at a time in class. So I am opening up the registration for that next week. I'm accepting applications for it because not everyone is ready for it. They're weekly classes. There's homework. There's 11 modules. There's over 100 pages of information, and it teaches you how to attract and hire the right talent, how to get out of the field, how to implement systems, how to create your brand story, your strategy, your mission statement, your core values, how to recognize who your target market is, like everything you need to build your cleaning business and stop cleaning. Okay, so if anyone is interested, Jamie, you're on my list. I'm going to DM you. Let me know. Just say, drop them off. I'll know what you mean. Or you can DM me too. I'm friendly. But that's super cool. And I like the fact that the group programs, that's why I'm only limiting it to 8, because it's a really intimate setting. I don't want to have 30 people in a client because people are going to get lost. My goal, my mission is to help as many cleaning business owners as I can grow and scale, and I can do that in an intimate setting. So it's only open to 8 people. It's gonna open up next week. If anyone is interested, you want to hear about it, see if you qualify, DM me. Any questions about that? You're welcome, Jamie. It's the best. So Candace is in it. If anyone has any questions, ask. So we got Candace. Who do we have on here that's in it right now? Candace is in it, the first one. Gabriella Resendez is in it. Belinda Webb is in it. We did Candace. Casey and her partner Olivia are in it. I know Caitlin was here too. Caitlin Larkins, the one with all the goals. Where are you, Caitlin? Caitlin Larkins is in it too. So I think there's 4 or 5 that come on the lives and everything that are actually in the current group program right now. They're in the first cohort. The second cohort is going to be starting 3rd week of October. That's when it's going to start. So we have 3 new comments here. Let's see. Hi, Caitlin. Gabriella, I love it. Oh, and you just got started. Wait till we really get into the work. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Hi, Andrea. If an estimate is too high, how do you make the decision to go down? Trying to grow business and want to get as many clients as possible. So I don't estimate too high. I know how to estimate. I know I can walk into a house because of my experience and know how to price a 2.5 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 3 bedroom, cluttered, non-cluttered, dog, non-dog. I kind of know how long it's going to take, and then I compute that math in my head right at the table. And I was off when I first started doing it, right? It was trial and error. So what I do as a coach is I teach you guys how to not have trial and error, and how to avoid the pitfalls and do it faster, so you're not waiting years to get out of the field and build your cleaning business. If you're watching this on replay, answer me. Anything we went through, respond. I answer everyone. So. But I hope you all have a good evening. I hope this helps. Communication is key to building your business. Having the right conversations with people is how you do it. Anyone else? All right. Well, I hope you all have a great evening. And if you're watching on replay, say hi, introduce yourself, tell me where you're from. And I will see you all soon. All right. Have a great night. Bye.